Hello again. So welcome to our market update here, the month of September 2025. Markets doing funny things like it's been doing all year. So let's deep dive and find out what the market has for us here in the El Paso, Texas real estate market. As a reminder, these statistics come from GEPAR, the Greater El Paso Association of Realtors. This is also numbers we're looking at September, but we are looking at numbers from August. I want to talk about where we're headed and what we have, what's expected here for the end of the year. So for starters, I want to give some background first of what's going on in the market. The the noise in the news, the noise in any venue here is going to be rates. They're high. They've been high. They've been high. It held a lot of people back, unfortunately, from making a move, from buying a house, because they were just saying the rate's too high. The rate is too high. But I mean, that could have been it, good or bad. Okay, so that's been holding up the market. Also, inventory has been really tight. There's not been a lot of homes for sale. So what happens if people go out there, look at homes, they're already hesitant about the rate. They go out and look at homes. There's nothing really they feel is worth that payment or is worth that rate. People ask me often, Luis, how's the market? How's the market? And I kind of say, hey man, that market feels like I heard this somewhere. It's like it's on neutral. We're not going anywhere. We're not stopped. It's not a bad market. It's not a good market. It just feels like a neutral. Like if you have your car going and it's just coasting down the street very slow. But that's how what's been doing. There's been a little bit of listings compared to other years, but right now to September, which is really what I consider kind of the end of the year, we've been doing things are moving a little bit, not as fast as they should be, but they're kind of moving. So we'll look at that. Like it's funny because I wanted to cover all that because even with all those details, like real jump in median sales price has been up month over month. Last month, 1.3%, $270, 270,000 median sales price for the El Paso market. Okay, so markets, homes are sitting, not a lot of listings. Prices are still creeping up, and they have been. I know people are waiting for rates dropped for the rate to drop and the houses to just be available there. They're not. Prices, even with little inventory, even with the rates being so high, we have increased month over month over month on median sales price. So consider that. For those of you waiting, I mean, just consider that. Is it worth the wait? Is that rate difference worth the price difference? Just some thought. And then closed sales was down. Like for the month of August and the summer, closed sales was down month over month. So it's expected. I don't think it's something to be too worried about because the end of this summer, school's back. Not a lot of activity in real estate. It's really normal for the market to slow down right after back to school season. So closed sales 696, not something to worry about, but that number is still low. 696 closed sales in 1 month is not a lot for a city the size of El Paso. And then what that drove is active inventory creeped up towards the end of the summer. 3,234 new listings or active, not new listings, but active inventory, which is a little bit higher than the previous month, 1.3%. So people are saying, hey, homes are just sitting, they're not selling, nobody's buying. It's not true because even if it was a slight difference, month over month, active inventory has been going up. So that's something to consider. Think about that. If you're sitting there on the fence, thinking about listing, thinking about buying, thinking about making a move, think about these numbers. They're very interesting. Median days on market. This one is so surprising because we do see homes that are sitting. We do see homes that are just not selling. We do see some reduction in prices. And but days on market is 28 days on market. Is less than 30 than a month. Okay, so a healthy market, it should be a balance of about 3 months of inventory, 3 homes sitting in the market for 3 months. That's 90 days. That's kind of a very balanced market. Everybody's saying we're in a buyer's market, we're in a buyer's market, we're in a buyer's market. But homes are selling in 28 days average. So it's a super interesting fact that the stats are not really saying what the market is, what everybody's telling us the market is doing, right? The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. 28 days on market. That is, in my opinion, still a pretty heavy leaning seller's market. Okay, and it's true. There's homes that are sitting there for 90 days or more, 60 days or more, but this is an average. Homes still the demand is there. If you have a home that is priced right, that's crucial. Priced right, shows well, it's available to show. It's prepped correctly to go on the market. It's going to sell fast. right? It's going to sell fast. Price has some factor to do with it. Our price point is very affordable in El Paso. So funny enough, also homes that are in the entry level price point are taking a little longer to sell than like something is slightly over. Something in the 300s is selling pretty fast. Something over that, over 300, 400, it's also sitting in the market for a little bit. But slightly over medium price point, that's kind of the sweet spot where people are moving. Homes are selling pretty quick. There's more to it, not just a sign in the yard, but homes are selling pretty quick. Price per square foot of medium home sold, $161. Okay, that number is also up 1.9%. So that solidifies that thought that median sales price is up, median price per square foot is up. So homes are increasing in price more every month. That's important to look at. New listings, 1,176 new listings. This is an interesting number because it's up 9% from the previous month. So from July to August, 9% increase in new listings. So what that tells us is that there's more options for buyers. There's more availability of homes. There's going to be more open houses. There's going to be more price reductions because there's more competition when selling, but it doesn't mean that it's still a complete buyer's market. These numbers don't tell us that, and we don't see it out there. Buyers have a little bit more leverage than we saw in months past or years past, but I think sellers are still getting a good price for their home. They're not having to discount. They're not giving the houses away. It's a very normal negotiation process for a seller. So consider that. New listings. Now, where are we headed? These numbers are telling us there's more listings coming. Prices are going up. New listings coming. Prices are going up. Now, news just in recent days is rates are dropping. So rates are dropping. That's going to bring more buyers to the market. That's also going to bring more sellers to the market that have been thinking of selling to buy something else. So that's going to happen. So what I expect the market to do at the end of this year, early next year, and so forth, if everything's trending the same way, is going to be that we're going to be in a more neutral market, more balanced, where you need a strong negotiator on your side, you need a strong listing agent on your side, you need a strong buyer's agent on your side, not just call somebody online and expect them to perform. Do your homework, because this market we're going into is a professional's market, and you have to work with a professional if you want to make sure your money's going a long way. So think about that. Be smart about who you're working with. Be smart about who you're picking to be your agent, because this market is becoming a professional's market for us realtors. And then for you home buyer or seller, you need to have somebody on your corner that knows what they're doing, that's gonna give you information. That's why these videos are out there, like the ones I do. A lot of other agents do them, because I want to give you the information to empower you to be able to determine what's the best choice for your family. Not just stop looking at TikTok, stop looking at Instagram and trendy stuff. That's not going to sell the house. People are still out there in the other platforms looking. So get a strong person, because this market is gonna require a professional. That's where the market we're going. That's my take. So I hope you will find this information useful. Let me know where you think the market is headed, and we'll see you next month.